Hi everybody, this is Ersnick, ERSNC, and this is Mind of an Aspie, and welcome to a new video. Enjoy! So, I have Aspergers, and the first few videos are gonna be about what that actually means. And for those of you who are like, I already know what that means, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Suffice it to say, for those of you who don't believe in evolution, well, people with Asperger's and autism pretty much prove evolution exists. We are mutations. Our brains are different from a product of, well, like I said, mutation. In the womb, some of our genes arranged differently than other people that allowed our brains to form differently. And it's a physical thing. It isn't just chemical. Like, people with autism have more wrinkles in their brain folds, which increases the surface area of their brain. See, a large brain, it doesn't really mean much if, like, it's the surface area of your brain that's important. Like, for example, Cro-Magnons had larger brains than Homo erectus, but because Homo erectus had a larger surface area on their brain due to the fact that they had wrinkles in the brain, whereas Cro-Magnons had smoother brains, Homo erectus were smarter, so they outperformed Cro-Magnons in several areas, or at least that's what I've heard. Now, people with autism aren't, people with autism and Asperger's, we have the capacity to be smarter, depending on what we choose to do with that. But the same thing is, it's like our brains, we have larger surface area on our brains, but we don't have the neural network to cope with that, possibly. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it could be a lot worse. Holy shit, I've seen people who just physically can't function, like, literally, and it's really sad. So, like I said, it could be worse, but it's like when you're going through puberty and your limbs start growing disproportionate to the rest of your body, your body has to figure out a way to cope with that. And sometimes it does, most of the time it does, but sometimes it doesn't. And that's kind of like what autism is, except it's from birth. Your brain has a larger surface area, so it has a lot more brain activity. There's a lot more going on, but our neural network can't really cope with that. And some people with autism and the high functioning people with autism and Aspie's sometimes have a thicker cortex. Their cortex is actually a lot thicker. I don't know if that means it's denser or it's actually wider or what, but supposedly that actually helps with the increased surface area of the brain. That increases brain activity. So the neural network is more equipped to cope with that. Now, again, I don't know if that actually means we're smarter. Maybe it does. Mutation... Okay, the way mutation and evolution works is... randomly, you'll get individuals born with things that are different from their parents and their relatives. And sometimes it'll be advantageous for their survival. Sometimes it won't really affect their survivability at all. And sometimes it will cause a great detriment to the point that some of them won't even survive past a couple of years. That's literally what evolution is. Sometimes you get mutations that are beneficial, sometimes you get mutations that are just plain horrible. And, well, that's what autism and Asperger's is. It's a mutation. It's not a chemical thing. It's not caused by environmental factors. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It's not caused by chemicals. It's literally a genetic mutation. And I'm so tired of people using autism as an excuse to fucking become anti-vaxxers and shit. Like, you can't get autism or Asperger's from vaccinations. You can't. Like, holy shit. The fact of the matter, like, I've seen articles, like, I didn't read them because I'm not fucking stupid. I'm not gonna read something I don't agree with, which, well, okay, that's not that's, I'm not gonna waste my time on an article I know to be wrong. Like, I saw an article that said, oh, these, 2-year-old triplets were diagnosed with autism, it's like, at the age of 2, and it's like, no, it literally takes years. Like, the earliest anyone can be diagnosed with autism or Asperger's actually takes longer to diagnose because of how less severe it is. Although nowadays we've got, the whole brain, autism, people with autism and Asperger's having larger folds and more wrinkles in their folds in the brain is actually a relatively recent discovery. So maybe people can be diagnosed with autism and Asperger's earlier on now. But I don't know. But back in the day, especially when I was a kid, you couldn't be diagnosed with Asperger's or autism until you're at least 7. And I wasn't diagnosed until I was like 15 with Asperger's. Oh. So yeah, the article saying that 2-year-old triplets diagnosed with autism caused by vaccinations, that's bullshit. It's total bullshit. You can't fucking diagnose a fucking 2-year-old with autism. You can't. They're just like any other 2-year-old. The reason why people with autism and Asperger's develop slower socially is because we have so much shit going on in our brain. It's hard to process some of it. It's the reason why people with eidetic memory have problems. Why they might be socially awkward, because they are too busy processing all the information that's going on around them that they don't have time to process social cues or how to interact with someone or how to be around someone or how to talk to someone. They're too busy processing the world around them that they rarely have time for that sort of thing. So, more often than not, people with eidetic memory and people with autism and Asperger's, whatever you want to call it, they're socially awkward, which is understandable when you think about it. So yeah, we don't have a disease. Saying people with autism or Asperger's have a disease is like saying people with mermaid syndrome have a disease, or people with, okay, to be fair, harlequin ichthyosis is a horrible mutation and is detrimental to the survival of anyone. Most people with harlequin ichthyosis don't even survive a week outside of the womb. So yeah, some mutations are borderline deadly, but that doesn't make them a disease. They're not a disease. It's not a disease. Saying someone with autism or Asperger's is like saying they shouldn't exist. Which, you know, if you're a survivalist and survival of the fittest and whatever, I can see why... I can see if you believe in evolution, but at the same time you believe in survival of the fittest, meaning that eventually humanity will probably replaced by something else. I can see why you might be threatened that, but at the same time, if you're like religious, I can see why you don't want to believe that autism and Asperger's isn't. I can see why you don't want to believe it isn't a disease, because it proves evolution as a mutation. Because the existence of mutation, as it accurately exists, also proves evolution. And people who are religious feel like evolution disproves God, which is silly, really. I believe in God. I also believe in evolution. I know evolution is real. There have been several studies done on it that span several decades. There's a study on a population of snails that over the course of 3 decades became two species of snails because of the fact that half the population was separated from the other half, and due to slight differences in their environment, they had to adapt differently. To them, to us, a couple of decades is nothing, but to these snails, it was several generations. So obviously, due to the fact that they had several generations to adapt, they were. That's how adaptation works. You, as an individual, don't adapt to a new environment. Your offspring has the potential to adapt to a new environment. That's how evolution works. But I believe that evolution doesn't disprove God. I think God is his own entity. I believe he designed evolution. Maybe he didn't even design evolution. Maybe he's up there right now picking and choosing like new adaptations for new individuals, for new beings to have. Like maybe he's picking and choosing new mutations. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And this whole process of trial and error, God, I can't understand why people feel like God is infallible. Like, he can't be fallible. Like, people think God can't be fallible. And it's like, we're made in his image, right? We make mistakes all the time, right? We learn from those mistakes. Why can't God be the same? Like, holy shit, why does God have to be this infallible, all-knowing thing? Why can't he learn and grow like we do? Or she, honestly. God could... Well, God is... Oh, God. God is a incorporeal concept. They are neither male or female. Like, they at the same time, they're both. They're one or the other. It doesn't matter. Now, God, I just feel like me, as an individual with Asperger's, being seen as having a disease, it's not accurate, and yeah, I feel like that's my thoughts, that's what I feel, that's what I know. And yeah, people who use Asperger's and autism as an excuse for being anti-vaxxers is bullshit. And also, they don't just put chemicals in vaccination. It isn't just, they don't use chemicals to fight diseases. They don't. They use... Oh shit, that's another video for another time. Holy shit. I'll get onto that topic another time. But yeah, this is my thoughts on autism and Asperger's, and someone with Asperger's. And yeah, I'm gonna try uploading twice a week, I hope. And yeah, hopefully, if you like the video, you continue to watch, you like and subscribe, whatever, do what you want to do. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye bye.